If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply felt discouraged or even defeated, if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then this podcast is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Adam Hall. Adam Hall is committed to helping individuals, companies, and organizations unlearn the beliefs, behaviors, and habits that shield them from discovering their purpose, mission, and course. In his book, Divine Genius, I love this name, The Unlearning Curve, Adam shares the 13 universal wisdom teachings and the genius process that led to his own transformation, discovered on the extraordinary journey that took him from the shores of Santa Barbara to the jungles of Peru. He is passionate about sharing this knowledge and wisdom with the world. Welcome, Adam.
Welcome is right. Welcome. I feel so welcome. It's great to be here with all of you today. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm just so happy that we connected and your publicist reached out. And it's like, I always feel that there is a purpose that I get connected with some of the people that I interview. And I was just really moved by you. And if anyone goes to Adam's website at adamhall.solutions, they will see videos of him from the past. And I'm just going to say, looking at you, you are younger. You know that, right? You're aging backwards, right?
Well, my little story around aging, because
let's hear this. Yes.
We're all thinking about aging, at least at my journey as I turned 60 last year.
Oh,
I guess
congrats.
it's that decade milestone, but I've decided that I've reached the halfway point, and that instead of going forward to 61 and onward that way, I'm going to go back the other way. So I'm just had another birthday and I'm now 59. So I'm going all the way back. I'm going to go another 60 the other way. That's my aging story.
Oh, I love it. And then it's like, okay, how old is that? Now he's what?
Well, tell me what you think, Carissa, about, the idea, think about aging and, a lot of the work that I'm doing right now is about, creating the magic and joy in your life. Of course, that's very much part of that idea of mind shift away from separation and ego and all the things I talk about in the Divine Genius and unlearning all that stuff, all that wiring and all those beliefs, right? But to really step into what that other part of your rainbow can really look like and feel like. And what I'm finding at the core of it is the magic of being alive, the innocence of and the curiosity, what's around the corner? Who am I going to meet today? Geez, I get to come in here and hang out with all of you. So
yay!
What's more youthful? What's more vibrant than just the whole sensibility of how we come to the journey and just shifting away from the old perception, which was all of the other kind of separate pieces and the troubled and stuck pieces into the whole piece of being authentic, so to speak. Comes with it the magic, and that comes with that is vitality. Comes with vitality is the life force. The life force is the chi. So good to be in the life force with you all today.
Yeah. And reverse aging, because I feel that whole concept of aging is a belief system, and that things may start to sag, or you get wrinkles, or you have less mobility. It is totally a belief system, because I have done triathlons, and some of the most fit, amazing athletes are those that might be considered older, where other people at that age, maybe at 70, 80, would be slowing down. I mean, they're speeding up.
Well, definitely it's kind of your attitude. And it's, of course, I don't mean to be cavalier, and I'm sure you don't either, in
Hmm.
discussing that
It's
because,
not easy. You're right.
we do get things are going on with this beautiful, elegant machine. And this is that hardware of us is in deep need of repair, or some of us a hip or a knee, or
Hmm.
God forbid, facing a major life challenges. But one of the things that we can always do, of course, is nurture and tend to our well-being. And I like that through lifestyle, and
Hmm.
not to get over into lifestyle. But one of the things that I would like to emphasize on the great point that you brought up, Carissa, is that if this was like a computer and this was our hardware, we also have the software. So we've got our hardware pieces, and we got to work with that because we wear and tear, and we get rust, and we do
Hmm.
things. But the software piece, this is what this is the power that we have right now more than ever, is to rewrite our programming, rewrite our
Mm.
genes, like our good brother Dr. Bruce Lipton so much talks about in the biology of beliefs. We get to decide what that DNA actually looks like. We can evolve it beyond, oh, my mother had X, Y, and Z disease or something, therefore I'm at a high probability. Well, there may be a probability, but if you get to write your software, that probability could go way down, right? We could really, really kind of get
Mm.
through those kind of beliefs and operating things about our body, and really live our fullest life right now. Yeah.
Yes, yay. Mic
Right?
drop on that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So, what is your particular purpose on this planet?
Well, I've been out on this quote unquote path, this spiritual path. I also refer to it as my conscious evolutionary path. I'm a teacher of conscious evolution. And conscious evolution is a very integral approach to living how you want to live your life. It is body, it is mind, it is heart, it is soul, and it is spirit, and it is connection to the quantum field, to oneness. So I wrote in my recent book, Divine Genius, The Unlearning Curve, I wrote a teaching, which is the second wisdom teaching of 13 wisdom teachings, that was specific to purpose. And I take exception to this how this question is often posed, not necessarily how you posed it, but we're on the path, we're on the seeking journey, for much of our spiritual journey. And so much has been framed in our books and from our teachers and from our culture, and our belief systems, both familiar belief systems, both the cultural systems, both wherever you're born, we're kind of molded by these belief systems. And one of them is that we must have purpose, and which is I get, but the idea of purpose becomes a real conundrum for so many
Mm.
people. What
Yeah,
is my
because there's a
purpose?
pressure to it, like a
Yeah.
societal or family pressure.
Well, the tricky thing is the ego, the separate part of that mind, that system, that mindset, asks that question: what is my purpose? Whereas in the divine genius, in your genius mind, the question is not what is my purpose. The question is, how can I serve that which is greater than myself to fulfill my soul's mission and unleash my heart? Okay, you see
Oh,
the
wow. Did
difference?
everybody get that? If not, rewind that part or buy his book,
Well,
Divine
the
Genius.
book, because you see the difference. One is the seeking and the searching, and one
Mm.
is directly related to every single thing the ego and the separate mindset does. it seeks to find and seek it because it needs a sense of its own identity. So we look and we believe and we connect in places that support the identification of that separate self. We get stuck. And this is exactly why, I'll paraphrase Einstein, you've heard it a million times. You can't solve the problem from the same place, the same level of thinking that created the problem. So the problem is over in the separate self that's seeking purpose. So back to my verbose answer, forgive me, but in that second wisdom teaching in the divine genius, I make it really simple. There's only one purpose every single human being has. Everybody has this, because we're here on earth at this time. Isn't it amazing, folks? Difficult, but amazing, right?
Yeah.
But
are you going to give us the answer? Is it service?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, here's what it is. It's service to your authentic self. It's coming into your authentic being, coming into your soul nature. That's all we are here to do as our purpose. Real simple. We don't have to worry about all the different possibility, because the ego wants to search and seek and divide ourselves from our heart, our soul, our authentic self. So shifting the perception, shifting the mindset away, as I talk so much about in the unlearning process, this genius process, is to move, Carissa, away from that type of seeking and those types of questions that only keep us in a loop, stuck in a pattern, and we want to break the pattern, because then we can ask the question of the authentic self, which says, what am I here to serve, and how can I serve that which is greater than myself to fulfill my heart's and soul's mission? Bingo, the committed life. That's my long answer to your great question.
You see, I'm so glad I asked him, because it's really serving people, and having them shift that perspective on purpose, because a lot of people will see it as something outside of themselves, as like a goal or something to accomplish. My purpose is to be a mom or be an entrepreneur. And I love how you transformed it into something spiritually.
Well, most certainly, because, we want to look at the things from that material and the immaterial world, from the physical world of our lives, and also from our spiritual side, because it's not one or the other, it's both, of course, and we want to integrate ourselves to live a full life. And I do want to say that I've had my fair share of trials and tribulations and tears and pain, and this is part of our journey together, is to hold each other and to love each other as we move through these powerful times of not only earth changes, but human changes in our humanity right now, folks, that are going on, I think, as you know, are enormous. And if we allow the stormy sea and the chaos of that to throw us all over the place, we're gonna have a terrible case of seasickness. So the idea here is, let's get grounded in our authentic being and our authentic purpose. And of course, our journey to that, in the place of that inner light, inner love, comes through a deep place of forgiveness, and a deep place of forgiving ourselves first and foremost, and for the forgiving of love and light and compassion and kindness to those that even really harmed us in a powerful way. It's not to dismiss these things. It's only to ensure that these kind of events, whether your mother, uncle, or somebody, or whatever it is, we all got stuff, they don't have power over you.
That's right.
About your power and your reclaiming your truth, and not living in the future's past. In other words, that stuff is like the tail that wags that dog, and where it runs our lives, and we're the victim of all of that and have no power.
It defines us. Yeah.
Time to get over that. I can
Yeah.
tell you a story in a minute if you want to hear it.
Sure. I did want to go back to one thing that you
Yeah.
said, that you've been through your trials and tribulations. Did you feel like you went through some um, trials and tribulations through outward success, through your outward manifestation of what you thought your best life would be, being successful financially?
Well, and I like how you're framing that, Carissa, because we're in the outer world of Adam, say, and that success, and that I refer to that part of my life as the 1.0 version of myself.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, my literary agent says, "Oh, you are one of those," and I go, "What's one of those?" He goes, "You are a millionaire jerk." And I said, "Yeah, I was. I was. I was not necessarily the nicest guy." And so the tribulations there, whatever that entailed, running businesses and being in real estate and the lawyers and the money and all these things that come all in this very dog-eat-dog competitive world, that was the earth conqueror Adam in that world. Yeah, of course there's trials and tribulations and there's all kinds of things associated with that. But the real game is an inner game. And that's when you enter into a place that makes those aspects of our life kind of like, oh, they're just over there and that it is what it is, because now we're tending to the divine ground of our own being. We're coming into a place of love. And in this place is in the hidden recesses of our subconscious. In the shamanic world, Clarissa, we refer to this as the underworld.
Did you
Underworld
have a
of
teacher? Did you have a teacher, or how did you get on your journey?
Yeah, I've had I say it present tense. I have teachers.
You have teachers.
And this journey necessitates that we all have guides and teachers. And sometimes for some of us, they're angels. Sometimes they're spirit guides. Sometimes they're animal totems. Sometimes they're physical beings here. Sometimes they're ascended beings. So
Good point.
Whatever those guides are, it's imperative to work with them, because, what I've recognized most certainly is I really know very, very little. I know very, very little, but the joy of it is to be in the not knowing little. Life is more fun that way, right? Who in the heck would want to be an expert? I mean, my God, that could be awful. You would just like, oh, I know it all. Oh, Lord, help you. But so the answer is to your question that I forget the question in and of itself was really about, coming to finding our way through the guides and through the teachers, because when I was searching, when I was in that dark night, so to speak, when I felt so lost and lonely, and I didn't even know if I wanted to be here anymore, and feeling the loss of the family that I had, because this necessitated I go into a divorce and things like this, was a calling into that inner recesses, into that underbelly, into that underworld, into the unconscious world. So my journey to that allowed me to kind of map that journey, to study deeply our human psychology, our neurology, I looked into all kinds of Jungian psychology. So I began a deep practice along these, in research along these lines, so that I certainly could get out of my life feeling alive, or be in my life feeling alive and sovereign and liberated from that ego mindset that we've been talking about, but because I'm serving something that is greater than myself. And when we do this, we live what our dear sister, beloved sister Lenny Twist says is in her new book that's out in October. It's you're living a committed life. You're serving that which is greater than yourself. And when we do that, we really bring full circle the human journey, and we move out of the old stories, and we begin to tell these powerful new stories. And I'm doing a lot of teaching right now around that arc. How can we come to the new story of our life? How can we leave the problem and step into a new, more just life of our own fullness? So it's quite a journey, and it's nice to be here on it with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for wrapping it back into this present moment. You're practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
And what did the jungles of Peru teach you? What inspired you to go into nature so deeply like the jungles of Peru?
Well, it in this the journey into the jungle was instrumental in terms of really laying a deep groundwork. Let's just call it a foundation within my own
Mm.
soil, within my own
Mm-hmm.
inner jungle of this
Mm.
of this own place of
Beautiful.
beingness in the wilds of the inner terrain, the inner landscape, which we do conscious. We can take this conscious evolutionary journey into these underworld, into that landscape, so to speak. So when I went to the jungle, I was living by a paradigm that's far outserved its purpose, but it's the most one of the more prevalent zeitgeist in our current human condition, and and it's kind of goes like a little story that says, when the sun comes up, whether you're the lion or the gazelle, you better run like hell. Eat
Mm.
or be eaten. We're living in a dog eat dog world. Our systems, our economic systems, our political systems, our governance system, everything has been designed around this competitive experience, and that's how I grew up, and that's how I lived, and that's very much how we've been operating. Of course, we're now seeing that falling away into the patriarchal system as we move into the Aquarian age from the Piscean age that we just left, because we're moving into this place. And when I was called to come to the jungle, I had no idea of the magnitude of it. I'd
Mm.
been exploring my own spirituality. I'd been exploring my own personal evolutionary journey, traveling into
Mm-hmm.
places of traditional Buddhist uh,
Yeah. So
Buddhism.
meditating, like when you say your own spiritual journey, is that what you
Sure.
mean? Or
Yeah,
religion? Okay.
meditation, moving away from the indoctrination of ideas of religion and exploring different philosophies, different mystical teachings. But ultimately, I grounded myself deeply in the shamanic traditions, primarily through my early training in with Native American, the Native
Mm.
American Southwest. And then I said, oh, I must go to Peru. And I hooked up with a beautiful brother and dear friend to this date. Matter of fact, I'm going to be on his summit on November 1st, called the Earth Keeper Summit. Earth Keeper Summit, everybody
Ooh.
put that on your calendar. You'll want to
Yes.
sign up for that. That's a fantastic summit.
I'm
My,
amazing.
my second year there, and he called and said, why don't you come to the jungle? And, I'll
That's
never
awesome
forget, you
because
know.
you energetically you feel like a shaman to me. I don't know if he initiated you, but I just feel that shamanic energy of your being.
Well, I have been initiated in the highest initiations of
Yes.
lineage in Peru.
Yeah. Okay.
And and it all began really in this journey to the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in my own way, was going this dog eat dog jungle of my life. Now that didn't feel so good. I was just popping Tums in the morning and drinking the tequila at night. That doesn't last long, right? So I took this journey, and I'll never forget. I was down in the Sacred Valley near Machu Picchu, and we were going to take this trek from Cusco. We get on the plane and fly over to Puerto Maldonado in the Amazonia, right? In the Amazon jungle. We flew south down near the Bolivian border. And I'll never, the night before, I got terrible food sickness, and all I was doing was vomiting, and that was a nightmare, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and how was I going to get on the bus, and how was I going to get on the
Oh,
plane, and
wow.
how was I
And
going
that
to
was
get to
like a spiritual resistance from your
well,
greatest good, do you think?
Well, of course,
Yeah.
we're throwing these loops, and but of course you get up and go because spirit does that, right? Does
Mm.
that. And so I got up and went, and and I was going, my gosh, am I going to go and do ayahuasca tonight, or what am I going to do tonight up in the jungle? And after all this wild journey, and so I got on the boat. When we got there, we got on the little canoe, and it was on the, get a load of this, it was on the Madre de Dios, the Rio Madre de Dios, which is the Mother of God River.
Wow.
Mother of God River. And I took the boat 2 hours up to the lodge, along with a bunch of other beautiful pilgrims, sojourners of their own destiny. And, got up there, and I quickly recognized that I was in the womb of the mother.
Wow.
She is the mother. She is the womb of the mother. The Amazon rainforest is the womb of the mother. And so it was brilliant to come back to the garden. It was beautiful to come back to the womb again. It was just amazing to come to this new place of seeing that the laws of nature are not about dog eat dog. The law of nature is about how everything works in symbiosis, how it
Ah.
works in unison,
Mm.
even in death, even in
Mm.
rebirth. It all is there. And this is the blessing of our beautiful Mother Earth. This is what she offers us during these times of great earth changes. She offers this place to die again, to be reborn again. And this is what she's taught me.
That's beautiful. So, would you say, if we could have an analogy, you're coming from this dog eat dog world, the competitive nature, and moving towards collaboration, working as a team for a greater purpose? Would you say that would be, or what would you say that, like, for corporations or entrepreneurs to help them, like, what would be the new model for going forward in this world?
Well, I love that because, having come, as really as a serial entrepreneur, and, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur.
That's true. Me
I'm
too.
very much alive in the world of business, and very active in the business world, and attuned to what's happening in the business world, primarily from a capital markets perspective, like follow
Hmm.
the money kind of perspective, but also from an evolutionary perspective, and what has happened with business and the unconsciousness and the destructive
Mm.
nature of business as a whole. Not entirely, obviously.
Yeah.
Business is now somehow feeding 8 billion of us. It's now on this planet, and so I don't have anything bad to say about anybody or anything. But ultimately, what's happening now is we're at a major turning point. And that turning point, of course, in the business world and the economic world in general, folks. So we may not be listening to the business side, but listen to it from your own finances. Let's hear it from that ear. Is we're turning away from the old paradigm of what we were just talking about in the competitive dog eat dog piece. We're turning away from the place of pillaging and raping Mother Earth.
Mm.
We're turning away from our conscious consumption and our behaviors very slowly. I mean, we're turning, 10 Titanic, so to speak, and we're navigating some tricky waters out there, and we do have some icebergs, so to speak, in this analogy. And we're all doing this in our own way. Just because it's seemingly happening out there, it's also happening within all of us in our own unique way. So the question is, what do you do? How do you begin to align yourself, your entrepreneurial spirit, your economics, your finances, whatever they are, big and small? We're talking the same thing here. How does business realign themselves? And what I'm finding are the key essentials here. The key essential for us, what we can do on the ground and individually, is first and foremost align ourselves with that purpose, that authentic self. Yes.
Hmm.
align ourselves in that place of our heart where we know that we can come and be in a place of care and love for Mother Earth, for others, for many that are undergoing incredibly enormous challenges, because the human heart is very frail right now. It's very, very touchy. It's very sensitive. And so what we want to do is get in alignment with self and then get in alignment with earth. Live in what we do. We refer to in the shamanic world as live in Aini. Live in the oneness of our own being, in the connection with the mother, and a connection how we love and caring for others. And come to that place first and foremost. That is your foundation. That is your rock. Those are your pillars of your foundation in the bedrock of your being. And when we're there, then we're in a place of, well, shit can happen. It could be a tornado out there. And again, if you're running a business, get into those core values. Get into the bedrock of your being. Understand clearly what your mission is. And if you don't have an answer to what your mission is, and you're not necessarily, or you don't know if you want to, I really encourage everybody to begin to explore themselves as in living a committed life which is serving that which is greater than yourself, and at the same time receiving all the abundance of the universe, money, love, relationship, because when we're in the receptivity of that place, then we can receive all that abundance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it was just so much more profound and deeper than I expected. And I think that's important, because it's like, if there's chaos happening around you, you have your mission, you're grounded in your truth, you can ride that wave instead of being pummeled by it. So that's amazing. I'd love to hear more about the Earth Keepers Alliance. So there's going to be a conference on November 1st, and you're a speaker there?
So yeah, I'm a speaker there, presenter there, and the thing I love about this conference, and we'll have, I think we think we're going to probably have 150,000 people plus that will be signing up.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about this particular conference, first of all, it's really well done, and there are going to be some amazing people there. We've had Anita Marjani, we've had Greg Braden. We've had all
that's
amazing
great
people that are coming. And I
Is
don't
it
know.
virtual?
It's a virtual event.
Okay.
I don't know exactly the list right now, but I'm going to be there. But it's all about really experiential teaching programs. In other words, you're not just sitting there listening to a bunch of people espouse their opinion or how smart and wise they all are, and we get it, it's got a lot of this stuff, but you come and you get to be with yourself, you get to learn about your life, you get to grow, and you get to laugh, and through experience. So I'm going to be doing a journey there. I just actually produced it and recorded it here yesterday.
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
Everybody has to do it just for that.
Yeah,
like a shamanic journey, right?
I don't know about that, but yeah, absolutely. I'm bringing forth something really cool, really powerful, just the shamanic guided meditation that ultimately it chaps you into your life force, your chi force, the vibrancy of being. So it's really cool, and it's really powerful and very potent, I must say. So I have that coming now. That summit, we haven't released the invitations yet, but if you check out my website here, or you sign up for many of the free offerings, all kinds of things, sign up, and then I'll send you notice. I'll send you a personal invitation so that you can just get a free pass to that, and you'll have a pass to it. But that's not out yet. But if you go to my website now, adamhall.solutions, that's a good way to go. I'm also at adamchall.com, but adamhall.solutions is a good way to go, and pick up something there. I've got all kinds of things for you if you'd like to explore. Come to the summit. To the summit. And we have another summit just before that I do want to mention too before we go, because that one
Yeah,
is
you can mention it. You can mention it. But
okay.
I just wanted to say, so the Earth Keepers Alliance are individuals that have a greater purpose of aligning their mission with healing Mother Earth.
Exactly. You couldn't have said it better.
Okay.
It's essentially an informal community, but ultimately the mission that I set out to many years ago when I received one of the higher initiatory rites with my lineage in Peru, with my spiritual lineage and my shamanic lineage, was the rite of the Earth Keeper. So it set out my intention and commitment to service to Earth, but also service to all things Earth, meaning other brothers and sisters,
Mm-hmm.
other hearts and minds and souls that also are committed to the path of the committed life.
Mm.
And the committed life is that place of serving higher than ourselves, receiving the abundance and whatever that is that you are calling in and aligning yourself with. So I've connected with a group of people around the globe of other committed Earth Keepers, and I refer to that as the Earth Keepers Alliance. We have a newsletter that comes out every month. You can sign up for it on my website, and you can get those kind of cool things. Really amazing interviews with really people known and unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, really geniuses in their own way. So
Mm.
you can check that out. Please do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I want to go back to that conference you said that's happening before the Earth
Oh,
Keepers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss this. And as a matter of fact, I'm sending out the invitation for everybody that's signed up to the newsletter. I'm sending that out. This Thursday. I don't know when is your show available
It's
now?
it's recorded,
Yeah.
but I could release it as soon as you want next week, or
Well, this
I
is good.
release one a week.
No, we actually, yeah. Forgive me for cutting in like that on
That's
your
okay.
board, but no, that's fine whenever you want, because like this conference is called the Global Oneness Summit and Celebration, and
Oh,
this conference is running October 15th to the 24th. We have over 100 amazing people and panels, musicians, spiritual visionaries, scientists like Nassim Harriman, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, on and Lenny Twiz, on and on and on about all these amazing people that have come to celebrate our lives together, to be in a place of just love and to be in a place of movement as we birth the new world. And together, this is a journey that I'm actually the producer and host of the event this year. Last year, we had over 300,000 people that registered,
wow.
attended digitally. It'll be greater this year. We've had over 500,000 views of our program last year, and this year is going to be like never before. And matter of fact, I just received a piece from Deva Premal and Mitten, if you know of their beautiful music, their beautiful sacred
No.
music. It will touch you to the deepest part of your being. It is so beautiful, and they're a beautiful couple, and they just brought something very special. We have other musicians like Freddie Lavelle, Peggy LeBeau, Bethany Fisher. These are extraordinary people of holding very powerful vibrations and frequencies of our own journey. And they'll just, in the presence of that, all you need to do is receive, and it will lift you into your journey in its own way, into that place of movement to genius, into to destiny, if you choose to play on that field. So yeah, come to that summit. Again, I'll have that. That's going to be out, so you can catch that when you hear this recording.
Yep.
Come on over to adamhall.solutions. Come on over
Mm-hmm.
to adamhall.solutions. Put your name
Mm-hmm.
in somewhere, and you're going to get notice, and you will also have it up for
Yeah.
you to be able to register.
That's wonderful. And I'll make sure to put it in the show notes. So people, if they're driving, you don't have to write it down. You can just look at the show notes
That's a good
later.
way to go.
Yeah.
That's
With,
let's
with
make sure.
Adam's site.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's make sure. Just ping me a note, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure. I'll make sure you get it. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah. Wonderful.
That's
Wonderful.
easy. That's an easy way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Great. Okay. So let's go back to your book, Divine Genius, The
Good.
Unlearning Curve. What
Mm-hmm.
inspired you to write it? And was that part of your own journey as unlearning?
100%. So among some of the other books that I published, and I have another book coming out also in November, but the this is the second part of my trilogy. So I'm also writing a arc of my evolution, my own awakening journey, so to speak. Although it's kind of an oxymoron because we're all already enlightened, we're already awake. so,
Oh, okay.
but it's
That's
my
a good perspective. It's
it's
just
it's
like, yeah.
it doesn't seem like that, but the truth of the matter is, in our own way, we already are. So,
Okay.
but it was second part of my trilogy, and there, of course, it's very much a part of my own arc of my own life, because there's no better place to look than in our own selves, and the Earth School offering us a mirror into where we need to learn and grow, where we need to heal, to love more, where we need to say no more to the fear, and we need to embrace the courage and the boldness of who we are, and do what we're here to do. Because quite frankly, I subscribe to a cosmology that essentially says that mindset of separation of ego, where I lived and I operated from very much for most of my life, and I'm in the tail end of the remnants of it. But the point of what I'm trying to say to you is that in that place, there's such an outrageous arrogance of who we think we are, who we are trying to be, how we want to survive and conquer other, how we've been so brutally difficult on things like women and the feminine, and
Mm-hmm.
all the things that we do. It's a most arrogant place that any human can have, and I can only say this because I was living that. And
Mm.
I do talk about it in the arc of my trilogies and in the Divine Genius. I was motivated through my own soul's calling, the deeper yearning of the inner chambers of my heart, Carissa, to free myself of that mindset. So, no better way to do it than to write about it, to live it, to
Yeah.
experience, to develop the wisdom, the knowledge that comes with the journey, so that I can be of service to others, to save other people. Well, not only months or weeks or years of their own journey to that own destiny they're on, that spiritual journey, but to really help others do so in this lifetime.
Mm.
Why wait for your fully awakened, for your fullest expression of yourself? Why wait when you can go and begin your journey tonight over a glass of wine with your dinner?
That's so beautiful. I love that. And I just feel your power right now speaking. I'm getting this tingling on the top of my head. And I know it just means that it's important information, that you're sharing. Just so you know, I feel it. I feel your power. That's incredible. And then you have another book coming out November. What's the name of that book?
Well, I have something fun that's happening, and that's the beauty of, as we play on this amazing playing field we all share, we call our home
Mm-hmm.
earth, right? And so one of the things that's been let's just say, an extension of because creativity is an expansion of our own design, not just in that left brain, so to speak, where I was trapped for much of my life. Nothing wrong with that piece, but when it's not full with the other parts of our own design, which is our right brain, our creative brain. So the extension of that creative place, when I kind of hacked into that, and that's when the light got in, as Leonard Cohen would say. When that crack of light came in, of course, that is just full of tremendous creativity. So one of the outgrowths of the Divine Genius, the Unlearning Curve, and you pick up the book, folks, you're going to get these gems and these pieces and these wisdom teachings that are going to offer you an opportunity to really expand yourself in a very infinite way, a way that's just, you're in the world, and a lot of things that came from me were around creativity, and I'm publishing a series of books now. And this book that's coming out, they're called the Little Books of Genius. First book was Abundance.
Oh, I love it.
There's a book out on abundance, but this book I'm doing on miracles with with two other wonderful A Course in Miracles teachers, Deborah Engel and Alan Cohen, the beautiful Alan Cohen. And we're doing a short little 75 pager and part of our Little Books Genius series that's coming up, a la Chicken Soup and the Soul, right? We're doing one on miracles, and miracles are such a beautiful thing that are available to us in our everyday lives, and happy to explore more. But that'll be out in November, time for the holiday.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And then you have the Genius Studio. So is that part of your course offerings? Like is that your business, the Genius Studio?
It is my business. So it's my creative laboratory.
Uh-huh.
It's my incubator
Yeah.
of all ideas of love and life and joy. So I do have a physical studio here at my residence at Casa Earthkeeper here in Santa Barbara, California. And in the studio is really designed for two purposes. Ultimately, to honor my own journey, to really know and to remember the love of self, to nurture the place within me and those places within my own self, to love those places that feel so unloved at times and have over the years. And so I created that sacred place ultimately for my work, but I also invite others selectively to come and be part of that experience. So my work is not simply in the group format, but I do work with some individuals that I feel that I can really support to catapult them into their committed life and their wholeness and their healing. So if anybody's interested in that, I do have a little bit of room at this juncture to engage with you. Should I be able to be of help and service on your path? And we just have a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also utilize the studio because I actually have a studio in that part of my on the land that's all for production and for recording.
Oh, perfect.
Filming, so it's all wired into that. So there's a production studio for creativity, for creative outlet. So I'm not, the old repressed man, and I want to play and be in the unleashed freedom of just being alive with all of you. So
yeah,
that's what the studio is all about. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And I love Santa Barbara. I went to school there. I have my
cool.
degree at UCSB.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. In communication. So
nice.
putting it
Come on back. Come on.
Okay, I'm coming. I love Santa Barbara.
Come on back. Where are you now, by the way?
I'm in Colorado.
Okay,
so
that's not so bad. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. We moved. My family and I moved from LA, so I went to grad school in LA and stayed there for a long time, like 20 years. And then we recently moved about 3.5 years ago. So, and it's been wonderful. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The ocean calls me a lot though. So
Yep. I get it.
You get it. You're there.
I'm an ocean creature.
Yep. Yeah, totally. So as long as I get to the ocean a few times a year, I'm good. So, what do you feel is the optimal state of health and wellness? What does that mean to you?
Well, this is I think, your question is the key question. And let's explore for a minute my ideas around optimal state of health and wellness. And one of the great challenges that we've been talking about is the disequilibrium that's created by operating in that separate mindset of our own ego and our sense of identity and our wants and our needs and all the things that come with all of that we've been talking about. And so there's nothing greater that creates a place of where the body is not able to live in a most vibrant, healthy way because we're in a state of disease and dis-ease because equilibrium and balance in nature, just think about nature, Mother Nature, is that is a place of vitality. That is a place of optimal growth and wellness. And when she's not in balance, of course, she's always coming to balance.
Coming back to it.
And when she's not in a place of things that are not going so well and on her belly, then there's a regenerative, the most powerful force in the universe is the regenerative nature of our mother. And so the idea for us is to biomimic her, to mimic her capacity to create balance and equanimity in our own sense of being. And remember, when we're thinking about equanimity and balance, is we're thinking about that in the context of our physiology, our biology, our human bodiness. That's a big task in its own right, folks. Then we have our state of our own emotional wellness, where we connect into our emotional intelligence, which is our heart intelligence. So we come into a place of harmonic and balance within our heart, which all things really begin there. And then we come into our greater capacity of our mental capacity and our capacity to hold ourselves whole, not separate, in the wholeness of who we are, in the connection, holographic connection to our own planet, in our holographic connection to our beautiful Milky Way, in our Milky Way's connection with the cosmos. So we want to live in a kind of a holistic way that offers us to, through our mental capacity, by being whole mind, not separate mind of ego, but a whole mindset, folks. And in doing so, we can be in a balance and equanimity with our soul, our deeper inner spiritual place. So we have the body, the heart and the emotions, right? We have that mental capacity and our alignment and connection. And then we have our soul capacity, our soul place. So we balance. So that's the answer in kind of the most generic way.
Right.
Of course, there's a lot of practical and pragmatic things that, we don't have time to get into today because
people can get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about practice, right? Yeah. It's about really living what Sri Aurobindo referred to as the divine life. I've never loved being so in practice. I never loved being so, I don't really know. I've never been there and I never known that because right now you and I are right here. I haven't been on all these pods. No, I'm in this one right now. Never been here, never done this. Right? So it's so beautiful to come alive in the magic and balance of those parts of our lives, bring us to the place. And the course that I'm going to be releasing, I have a free master's class that'll be out. Also, that's available, will be available for your audience very shortly, or probably right now. Will be a master's class on storytelling, on living a new story. And we've heard a lot about story and stop living your old story and really step into what's new for you. Well, I offer a program that allows and supports you to really unwind the old story and the power of the story through your own vibrational and frequency. In other words, we don't necessarily need to be old off in our head. I got to figure out what that person said. In the old days, it used to be the guru or the preacher or the rabbi. And these days, you are the guru, preacher.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
so
right.
This is the idea is, okay, let's step really into our soul's truth, our heart's truth, and speak and hold that place. And that's the idea of the work that's now coming forth for all of us. So I invite everybody to come and explore that. I've got a wonderful free class in that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. How exciting for our audience.
It's cool.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and hearing about your book and so many other things going on in your life, all the conferences coming up. So everybody get his book, Divine Genius, The Unlearning Curve. And I'll put your website and how to buy your book in the show notes. So much Zen success on your journey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bless you, everyone. Be well.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Zen Success. I would love to get your feedback at zensuccesspodcast.com on what topics you'd be most interested in and what Zen success is to you. Thanks for listening.